Hi and welcome back to our personal development plan course, and we started our first session with goal setting. So deciding what it was we absolutely wanted to achieve, making it smart, so checking out, well, how, when, where, why, yeah, and we came up with two goals. One was for a personal goal, because personal development is not only about careers. We often assume it is because we talk about it mostly at work, but actually personal development is about all areas of your life. We also did a goal for somebody wanting to start their own business. And we used this one as an example in session 2 to do the next step. Yeah. So we looked at, what am I good at? So what are my skills? Yeah. My skills. What are my resources as well? So it might be worth putting in there, how much money do I have for this project? Yes. What do I need to work on? So what are the things that I need? Who or what could help me? So who do I need to get on board, and also what do I need? So, and we've got web designer, PR and funding, which is often really important for small businesses and business startups. Then we came on to what could stop me. What are those things that could get right in the way? Those things that could stop me achieving anything at all. Okay, so we've got the very bare bones then of our personal development plan. If you were one of my clients and you wanted to go through a personal development plan, there was something you wanted to achieve, like, you know, getting ready to start a new relationship, preparing a move or a career change, anything like that, I would take much longer, of course, to take you through these, and you'd end up with a much more detailed plan. The next step, of course, is, well, how do we know what to do next? Well, again, this is going to depend on what you're actually aiming for. So these are just 3 steps. You could have many more, depending on what it is that you want to achieve. But basics, the very basics, and just to give you an idea, I would put step 1, what am I going to do in the next week? So what do I need to start with? What are these things in here that I need to put into place or start finding out about, researching what are those things that I need? So for instance, if we were doing this, let's say that we're doing this about, well, let's go back to the business one, shall we? So, you know, somebody wants to start an online shoe shop, yeah? What do they need to do in the next week? Well, one of the first things they need to do is speak to the supplier. Does this shoe shop, whoever it is, this organisation that makes these shoes that you think are going to be such a great seller, are they willing to have you selling their shoes? Or do they want to sell them exclusively themselves? Do they already have exclusive suppliers? So that's the first thing, isn't it? Is, okay, so whose shoes am I going to sell? And will they let me sell their shoes on my website? Yeah? And then we need to think about, Do I need funding? That would be a very early one, wouldn't it? Yeah? So, how am I going to find those funders? Yes? Am I going to go to my local bank? Am I going to apply for a government small business loan? Am I going to go online and raise money through shareholders that way? How am I going to do this? Yeah? How am I going to raise the funds to do this? And most importantly, what are the costings going to be for this business? So we said previously that we'd need a website, and so how much does it cost to have a professional web designer put together a website for you? And then do you need to pay to sign up to PayPal or any other kind of medium through which cash is moved about? What about PR? How much does it cost for a local PR company just to get you mentioned in the newspaper? Just to get, you know, half a page on the business pages saying, you know, oh, here's Joe Blogs and he's opening up this fantastic online shoe shop and it's going to be absolutely great. Yeah? How much does that actually cost? Is that something you could learn to do yourself? I don't know. I don't know. You also have already said that you need to work on your marketing, your sales, your planning, your PC skills. So really then, the first things you want to do is planning, which can include the supplier, which can include about funding, finding those funders, and of course will include costing. And what do we call this? We call this a business plan. And that's the very first thing you need to do. So in the next week, in that very first week, you need to decide, right, what do I need to get in this business plan? Yeah. So you can go online, you can find templates for business plans from all kinds of sources. Some will be overcomplicated, some will be very straightforward. I would always go for the most straightforward option. Why make things complicated when they don't need to be? So there you go, your first week is going to be very, very busy. And you know what? You're not going to sell a single shoe. Not a single shoe. So you also be ready to think about what's your income going to be until you're set up. What's that going to be? How are you going to live between now and when you're set up and receiving an income? That's got to be part of your planning. Yeah? So this is just that very first week. Just the very first week. And how long is all this going to take? So if you start all this in the first week, is it going to be finished within that first week? Unlikely. It's pretty unlikely. So out of all of this, you're going to end up with a plan which you can put on a to-do list, the tasks from that plan that you're now going to need to carry out. Okay? And how long is that going to take? Well, you need to decide, well, how long am I going to give myself to get together this business plan? Well, tell you what, because I need to do this and I don't know how long that's going to take. I may, you know, they may be happy straight away, they may not. I may struggle to find a contact number or email for them. They may not respond straight away. Business plan. I need to make sure this business plan is absolutely watertight, because if I'm going to need it to go and find funders, then they need to be able to read my business plan and be quite clear about what it is I'm doing. And I'm also going to need to earn an income, so I'm going to I may need to work full-time, part-time, all kinds of different options there to keep an income going. And out of that, I've got my to-do list. Now, this block may take 1 month, might take a month. So my next timescale is, what am I going to do in the month after that? What am I going to do in this? Well, this is going to be all the stuff that comes out of the business plan. So by now, you might be able to arrange a meeting with the supplier, and you would need to take your business plan and be able to say to the supplier, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I want to offer this to your company, this resource, for you to be able to sell your absolutely brilliant product that has so impressed me that I want to start up an online shop because of that, because I'm so impressed by your product. So you're going to have to do that, aren't you? The costings. So you may have realised now, actually, I do need funding, so I'm going to have to do some funding applications, aren't I? Yeah? I'm also going to have to research and agree on a web designer. If I'm not able to do it myself, I need a web designer, or I need to be able to access a course that will help me get a good, attractive website up and running. Now, it's very easy to look at other websites and think, well, that doesn't seem so difficult. But of course, the thing is, websites have to appeal to your target audience. And people who buy shoes, people who are buying shoes, people who are buying the particular shoes that you're talking about, what appeals to them? What is it? What colours, what pictures, what looks are going to appeal to them? Yeah? What are they going to want to know about these shoes? What are they going to want to know about you? So it's actually a lot of work putting together a good website, and it needs, if you can't afford a professional, then go on a course. Yeah, don't just play around with it. Yeah, and try and get the very best website that you can possibly afford. Yeah. So we're moving on here then, but actually this looks like, oh, that's just 4 things, isn't it? That's just 4 things. Well, that's not a lot, but actually all of these things are going to take serious amounts of time. The other thing you need to think about is, of course, your branding. What do you want your logo to look like, eh? What do you want it to look like? What colours do you want it to look like? Colour is really important, again, especially when you're appealing to customers. What colours appeal to the sort of customers that you're looking for? What are the colours that appeal to them? Yeah? And do you want something shoe-like in a logo? Or do you just want a logo that's just your name? And have you come up with a name for this shop? Do you want to call it, it's Joe Bloggs Online Shoes? Or do you want to call it something else? So lots and lots of decisions are having to be made there, and these are going to take a serious amount of time. You see, if you're thinking, I can get this up and running in a couple of weeks, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea, unless you can pay for all this to be done for you and you have the resources to do that. But even then, because part of your business plan, of course, is also going to be your market research. And you know, you can pay somebody to do that for you. There are some websites like People Per Hour, where you'll find people who specialise in doing research for business plans, and you know, if you can pay them to do it, then that's great. But if not, you have to do it yourself. It's an important part of your business plan, because you know, without it, how do you know there's a market out there for it? Because you know, you might have seen these great shoes at a festival or something, but actually maybe they don't appeal to many people outside of a festival environment. You have to think about these things. So with all of that, the next step, realistically, could be 3 months' time. What am I going to be doing in 3 months' time? So what would you hope to be doing in 3 months' time? So in 3 months' time, you might be hoping to do your photographs for the website, you know, and will you be doing the photos of the shoes, or is the shoe company going to provide you with those pictures? How is that going to work? Yeah, how is it going to work that you do that? Yeah, so just realise that you can't see this bottom one, so there you go, I hope you can now. So it's photographs for your website. How are you going to do those photographs for your website? Where are they going to come from? Are you going to take them, or is the organisation going to take them? Have you got an email address? Are you going to be ready to publish your website? Might be, you might not. You see, do you remember back in the second session, the previous session, when we were looking at what could stop me? Sickness, finance, legal aspects. You have to be prepared for your timescales to be moved. Yeah, so we've got within the next week, the next month, 3 months' time. And you're going to have to be constantly reprioritising what you're doing, reprioritising your timescales. You're going to have to be adjusting all of the time. So these timescales could end up being quite flexible, yeah, because, you know, quite often life isn't as straightforward as a plan on a piece of paper. But the better and more detailed the plan, then the more chance you have of meeting your timescales. Does that make sense? I hope so. And I'll see you in session 4. Thank you.